Hello everyone, in this video I'll be showing you a level 20 War Dancer DAWNFLOWER subclass in Baldur's Gate 3. This is a class mod that was made by Eclipse, and it's a lot of fun. I've covered the other two subclasses, and now with its release on console alongside their Succubus class mod, I thought this would be the greatest chance to cover this one again. Now, this gives us a special Peacock Strut ability, does a weapon damage plus 1d4 piercing, and it can possibly ensnare targets. We also get our Moonlight Waltz doing healing damage. And you heal more if you have more than 2 benevolent stacks. You also get the Thorn Whip cantrip and Friends. And on top of this, we get our second win, replenish our movement speed after using a spell, and ever evasive, you're agile and appear to be elusive. You don't provoke opportunity attacks, and you get a +3 to your armor class. Very nice. Now, this is what we're going to roll with for our ability score. So 16 dexterity, 14 constitution, 10 intelligence and wisdom, and 16 charisma, our main spell casting modifier. And you take skill proficiencies as you want, as there's not really super necessary ones there. Now, into level 2, I'll also be covering gear as well as combat, so you can stay tuned for that, and also be showing off the night mode mod. But we get our reverse cascade. You can cast the next spell for free, combat only. And it gives us guidance, dancing lights, and the night ode, granting an ally 1d8 of temporary health. Pretty solid. Now, once we get ourselves to level 3, this is when we can choose our subclass. I've covered a Blade Dancer, more of a melee focused class. I've covered a Weavestress, which can summon in little turrets that shoot at your team and heals them, or can shoot at the enemies and hurt them. But we'll be going DAWNFLOWER. So this is a support style. I love whenever classes show the play style in this. So this gives us the Divine Grace. You are the light that protects the weak. Get a +4 to initiative. You're immune to being surprised and frightened. You have radiant resistance, and you cannot be disarmed. And we get the power cord 1d4 of force damage similar to magic missile. But what's cool about this is if all of them hit the same target, you deal an additional 1d4 of force. And this is also a bonus action and use our flow resource. So pretty nice. And magic missile is great for breaking concentration. So level 4, we get sub step, uses a flow charge, and we can teleport Misty Step basically. And the charming guys to charm an enemy and prevent it from attacking you. You gain advantage on charisma checks in dialogue. And the Midnight Rondo, make an ally become invisible. So we also get a feat at level 4 here. So I'd recommend taking up either dexterity or charisma, depending on if you prefer more of a melee focus or a charisma spellcasting focus. At level 5, we get our own tempo, immune to difficult terrain, and you've increased movement. We also get plant growth, awesome underrated spell. Blessed healing, healing heals others as well as yourself. So similar to the Life Cleric. And we get encore, restore an action, the movement of an ally that's already acted for 2 flow points. So really great if you want to get Lae'zel going crazy again. At level 6, we get ourselves the Bewildering Grace. So you can hold an enemy still, and all attacks from within 3 meters always crits. Hold person by another name. Lion Dance. Grant an ally +1 to all stats. It's kind of cool if you plan for it, but the way that stats work in D&D is it takes 2 points to really give yourself that extra +1 to your modifiers. But we also do the Blooming Spring Dance, doing a 2d8 +8 of healing in a 9-meter radius. So pretty good support-based class. Into level 7, Crusader's Mantle. And we also get the Inspiring Epitome, grant an ally haste for 5 turns. So that's good. Haste is a very powerful spell and a nice one to have. At level 8, we get ourselves Moon Mode, so you can illuminate an area. It's great for photo mode, by the way. And we also get the Rhythmic Tap Dance, grant all allies in 9-meter radius haste and slow all enemies. I can't even... That's just super overpowered. Rhythmic Tap Dance, though, pretty cool. We'll also take up our dexterity here to max, or max your charisma, depending. We do take this to level 20, so we get more feats. We get Death Ward. If an ally goes down, they stand back up with 1 health point. At level 10 here, we get the class feature Dance Generations. You gain 1+ action. Again, it does get pretty overpowered. And the Hummingbird Dance. Grant an ally 3 armor class for 5 turns as bonus action. Big thumbs up from me. You can also increase your spellcasting. We already have the benefits of alert, so we don't have to take that. You can also go a Spell Sniper and get yourself Eldritch Blast. It's always a good choice. Or even the Warcaster if you want to focus on holding your concentration a little bit better. But I think an ability score improvement to our charisma is also a very valid choice. Savage Attacker 2 is another option we can go with. At level 11, we get the Hymn of Heroes. Make one of your allies the hero of the story. They gain a +1 to every stat and a +2 to armor class until long rest. Uses 3 flow. Pretty good. You can use that outside of combat or outside of a battle as well to give that nice boost. We also got ourselves Celestial Requiem, and this does a 3d8 of radiant damage, silencing enemies, and the targets will receive the radiant burn. We also get the Dawn's Ascendance, revive a companion, the return to health or life with half health points, and grant them return by dawn. So at level 12, this is when we can max out our charisma too, so we can go full in on our spell casting now. And great for the face of the party. Level 13, just free health. You can also take the tough feat because that'll give us extra health. Luminous Embrace. Nearby allies restore 3d4 of health points at the start of their turn and resistant to radiant damage and a +1 to saving throws. Pretty nice. So many buffs. And level 15, extra health. At level 16, we get ourselves the Sunburst Dance. 3d12 radiant damage and 3d8 +5 healing. Trigger a massive burst of energy in a wide area, dealing 3 to 36 radiant damage to enemies and healing allies within range. Now, this is a good choice if you want to be the tanky support. This is a good time to take tough. Increases 2 for every level, and we're going to level 20, so that's 40 extra health. Great survivability. Health is a resource. Use it. It's great on Tactician Enhance. We're up to 156 health, and that's going to jump up too. You'll see. Even more health. This is a level 20 support, but it just basically gives you those 2 little passives there. They're actually not little. They're pretty powerful. And then at max level, we get ourselves another feat. If you want to make sure you do go first, you can take alert because you'll never get beat for speed. Savage Attacker again, good for melee attacking. You can also add in armor proficiencies if you'd like. It's your choice if you want to. I don't think it's necessary for this class. It's pretty good as is. Spell Sniper can give us the ever famous Eldritch Blast if you wanted something fun like that. Although it doesn't really fit the theming of this build. Warcast would be good to hold your concentrations. Mobile is decent too if you want to dash and be a bit more mobile. Lucky is also another really good one. This gives you 3 luck points you can use to make sure that you do hit your targets. Even, I guess you could go with the Defensive Duelist if you want to use finesse weapons, and you can use United Proficiency bonus to armor class when wielding a finesse weapon. So that's another good option. Yeah, you got plenty of them. So I think the best I'm going to go with is a Lucky feat because this is just good for overall support, which is what this class is about. So I am wearing the Daughter of the Grove set. This is a new mod that also just made its way to console today as well. We have the Night Mode mod and this Armor of the Worthy. So just want to highlight those quickly here. But for gear, we can actually get a pretty crazy armor class of 35 here. We can actually push this even higher. We can get a 36 if we wanted to. Now, what we'll be rocking is the Mask of Soul Perception here, giving us a +2 to attack rolls, initiative, and the Cloak Protection for better armor class. Now, we get light armor proficiency, and that's it. So the Ballast Armor is the best in slot for this. This is also nice if you get up front. You can be a support even further by setting up your archers to deal double damage to targets because you're Aura of Murder. So that's pretty good too. It does also give us a bonus to our initiative. If you didn't want to wear that, you can also go with something like the Wave Mother's Robe. I mean, that works well for protecting you from some of the elements too. So that can be a decent choice too. And on top of that, if we go with this setup, I have the Wonders Gloves on to give us +1 to armor class further. I mean, it's really your choice. We don't have a heavy demand for anything else, but then we can throw on the Bracer to defense if we go with a clothing option. Although we don't have mage armor, which is kind of not awesome, but we can call our resident wizard in to apply ourselves the mage armor if you wanted to. And this would make this even further tanky. So yeah, Bracer defense are really good. You can't be wearing a shield, but you could also go light armor and wear a shield. It's your choice if you want to go light armor or clothing. I would even recommend Fowler Aloof of a weapon. That's a pretty good one. But you can also go with the Crimson Mischief here, and then also throw in the offhand, the Blade of First Blood there, Orange Dagger. That'll take our armor class up to 37. So yeah, we got an option if we want to get this really tanky. Yeah, you can see there, it's adding quite a bit. So yeah, 37 armor class, and we can further bump this up with some of the different abilities that we got. The unfortunate thing is we can only cast spells at certain times due to how this class works. You get that free casting of a spell. We have the 23 flow points there to be able to use, and a bunch of different support, like the Blooming Spring Lance is up to 57 healing is no small amount. And if you get the Periap of Wound Closure, you can keep your entire team alive. Very, very useful, especially if you're on a subsequent playthrough and you want to change something around. So this is good. Hymn of Heroes, so we can then buff up another teammate. We can't actually apply this to ourselves, but what's good is we can take our other characters and take up their armor class even further, and then they're going to be pretty powered up. The Reverse Cascade there, this is recently, you can cast a spell for free depending on which you wanted to use there. You also have the Lion's Dance too, which we can buff up our teammates. Restoring an action of a team member. Yeah, we got a lot of cool abilities, and this is a great support because we get 3 actions. So one of our actions can be to give all of our teammates haste. It's nuts. All right, so if we get haste applied to us, that gives us 4 actions. So that's obviously quite a bit. We do have some pretty large area of effect spells too, which are fun to mess around with. So I like this one here, the Celestial Requiem there. If you can get lucky, you can sometimes get multiple characters in this, and it's just a nice way to blast and deal quite a bit of damage. So We'll see if we can grab, yeah, there's maybe 4 of them in here, and we can deal quite a bit of damage here. So we'll start off with this to open up and get counterspelled. Of course we would. So let's try that again. We'll go ahead with another one here. Big blast there. Radiant burn is now applied to them, and they're also silenced. So great against any spellcaster. Could have shut them down with that. But a lot of our abilities are reliant on giving haste, so we can actually do this large area of effect haste here, which is pretty nice, using 2 flow points. So then now these all got an extra action, and everyone that's within it is slowed. So obviously that becomes very overpowered pretty quickly. We have our power core too, which does additional damage if we hit the same target. 48. Yeah, it gets really strong here. 4 to 16 force damage. If we hit the same target multiple times, you're gonna see it's going to deal quite a bit of damage. So yeah, it's a powered up magic missile. It's cool. But we have the peacock struck here, which we can possibly ensnare a target with. So I'll show this one off here. So we'll just go with that attack. There's a critical hit, took them out with the peacock strut. Perfect. And then I guess we could do the sunburst dance, which does a huge area of effect attack, and boom, this will also heal us too. So really cool and quite powerful, obviously. And our lovely team members are now hasted, so they can do some cool things like set up our crowd control and then set up our silence zones, you know, whatever you really wanted to do with that. Yeah, it's cool being able to support your entire team. Obviously this does become a bit powerful, and the beauties of haste is you can always pump up some spirit guardians at any given moment. And this is why we take lucky. So need a 19 to save, we roll a 6, re-roll the advantage. Oh, come on. All right, let's try this again. Can't happen twice in a row. Advantage. You know what they say, 3rd time's a charm. Let's re-roll with advantage. Oh, no, Shadow Heart succeeded. Nice. And we got hit with another command, lovely. All right, so finally we can move. All right, I'm gonna heal up the team. Blooming Spring Dance here is likely a good option because we're running low on health after getting commanded 4 times in a row. So that's great. We also have the Sunburst Dance is gonna be our big Nova burst damage. We got, again, so many haste options. I think the Blooming Spring Dance is nice. To use our flow, which we have tons of. We can cure an ally. We can give an ally the Night Ode, which will give them temporary health. So that's a really big buff there. This is a free action too, so you can give everyone a 48 of temporary health. So it gave me 20, gave Shadowheart 21, and it gave Minsk 13. So that's nice, a little bit extra health. And then you can also revive people too. It's one of the nice benefits of this, but we'll go with the Sunburst Dance. I'll actually try to sneak the Sunburst Dance to hit all of them there and heal our team, which gives Bless to them all because I put on the Whispering Promise ring, and that was pretty good. So we'll do an encore and we'll do that again. Sunburst Dance to finish them off. So yeah, that is the Blade or War Dancer DAWNFLOWER build in Baldur's Gate 3. Great support, can do a lot. It's a lot of fun. The War Dancer is a great new subclass now available in console. If you found this video useful or fun, hit the subscribe button below. There's a new night mod mode out. There's a lot of great mods. So again, stay tuned for further mod videos and have yourself a wonderful day.